Hello everyone, my name is Phawx. This is the GPD XP. This is GPD's latest Android device. We're going to be taking a look at Xbox Game Pass, specifically Xbox xCloud. So we're going to go ahead and click on the cloud option right in this tab right here, and we're going to be taking a look at a few games that I've been playing lately on Xbox Game Pass. You can see that Scourgebringer, Katana Zero, these two games are actually going to be leaving Xbox Game Pass pretty soon, so I wanted to get those in before they disappear forever, which is kind of like a weird kind of side effect with regard to Xbox Game Pass. You would figure that when you have a bunch of games to play, you'd want to play the new ones, but I find myself more compelled to play the games that are going to be leaving. Like, once I know that there's a ticking time bomb on those games, I want to just kind of gun through them as fast as I can. So Mighty Goose is actually a new game that just came out. I played this. This is actually a lot of fun. This is very, very... Let me lower this down a little bit. This is actually very similar to what you would almost figure as an updated Metal Slug of sorts. Let me go ahead and just kind of go to one of the more later stages so we're not being bombarded with a bunch of tutorial text. The tutorial side of things isn't really heavy-handed, which is nice. It's kind of just some general story ideas. The game is really zany story-wise. Like, you play a goose. You are the Mighty Goose. But overall, especially when you take a look at like the shotgun and the shotgun type of animation, it does have a very Metal Slug animation flavor to it. Even like you know, the machine gun, how the announcer says machine gun and stuff. It's just a really good game. So you can see the shotgun, very, very similar to like how Metal Slug is, except it goes crazy when you get your special meter up, which is on the top left-hand side right over here, kind of building up. And then you also have, you know, your Metal Slugs. Oh, actually, yeah, this is actually a good point. Alright, so I'm going to go into super mode and check out this shotgun blast. It's like crazy satisfying. So good. Okay, so this is xCloud. It's been running perfectly this whole time, so we're going to go ahead and press back, and we're going to say yes, quit game. Alrighty, so this game is called Scourgebringer, and this is a game that is going to be leaving Game Pass soon, which is kind of weird because you would figure that you really want to care about playing games that were just recently added to Game Pass. What I find myself doing is that when Game Pass games are leaving, is I make a mad dash to play as much of them as I can, because chances are I'm not going to buy them unless they're going to be in like Humble Choice or something that I'll have them on PC. Otherwise, I'm going to be waiting a while before I'll actually get them. Now, there is these 3 bonuses that unlock after beating the 5th Guardian. It's exceptionally difficult. I've only made it so far to the 3rd boss and died there. Basically, playing the game is kind of unlocking how to play the game, because as you go against different enemies, you learn how those enemies attack, and everything is rather fast. So, like, you see that exclamation point that's popping up right there, and the spikes that are there. Once the exclamation point pops up, you basically have a second to make a decision. Now, you do have a heavy attack, and you can volley back any projectiles that are headed your way. There are kind of limited perks that happen from kind of restarting the game. So you get blood and then Guardian blood to actually unlock in the branch tree, which you saw earlier on there. Now, the only thing that you really need is, it's not so much bandwidth that you need, you just need solid latency to be able to enjoy xCloud nicely enough. So if you don't have, when I say have good internet, it's not even about having good internet, it's about having good internet that is close to Microsoft's data center, because that's where you're going to be, you know, playing against. So you really want to minimize how much latency is on those connected to those machines. The amount of bandwidth you have, how big your pipe is, comes second. It's not as important. But you can see that this game is fairly frantic. And it's actually not that bad to be played on via xCloud. So we're going to go ahead and just back out of this game again. Again, this is all streaming right now. Let's see, another game. Katana Zero was kind of an interesting game, but it's one that you can go through pretty fast. Skatebird is weird. I'm not sure I care about that too much. So now this is one thing, like Xbox 360 emulation isn't... Xenia has gotten better, but it's not perfect yet. I should really take another look at it. I know that it's gotten better lately. However, Microsoft's emulator obviously is as perfect as it's going to get at the current moment. What's nice is Xbox 360 emulation does work through their cloud. So you can play whatever 360 games that is supported on the cloud service. It's just really cool to see like this all happening because this is just fairly wild. So I'm going to go ahead and let this load up. So check this out. This is my game save from 2006. So I played Oblivion when it first came out on Xbox 360, and I was thankful that I managed to keep all my save files kind of compartmentalized into this kind of rolling package. Like I got the memory controller, and then when they started doing external USB thumbsticks that you can have as your save file, and then I also moved it over to an external hard drive, which thankfully it was there. So I was able to move those save files over to the 2 GB online save storage and then load from there. I have since started playing again recently, and I purchased all of the DLC, which I never had before. Technically, I bought it from the disc, the Game of the Year edition version, because that was cheaper to buy the physical version and get the all of the major DLC. I did buy the minor DLC as well. You can kind of see all of those getting added right now. So it's just pretty wild. So I am completely invisible. It's super hard to see me right now. I'm right there, but I have all my chameleon gear. So basically, if I'm just stealth Miggy, let me see if we can get a good view of myself. There we go. Check me out. So I have the Grey Wolf mask on, which makes me like the super bandit thief, and all guards are just like, oh, we gotta go after him. Having played Oblivion on the 360, it felt more, well, I would say that a lot of PC players would arguably say that the 360 build or the console versions influenced the design of Oblivion a lot comparatively towards the PC build of Morrowind, so that's up for debate, but I really enjoyed my time with Oblivion, as evidence that I put almost 90 hours into it and got as far as I did. Seeing if I can go find a guard somewhere. Now again, one of the nice things about the GPD XP is that the controller interface that Android sees is an Xbox 360 controller. xCloud also sees the Xbox 360 controller, so there's nothing to configure. You just kind of just run with it and go. It's pretty nice. Anyway, you can see right now I'm streaming Oblivion through Xbox 360 emulation through Xbox xCloud, and everything's working just quite nicely. Alright, so this is Doom Eternal running once again through xCloud. Now, I have played a bit of this on the Xbox. Well, a bit of this. I played this to completion on the Xbox, but I'm now playing it through the xCloud. Now, this is a game that, again, has a tremendous amount of detail, and any type of latency on top of this is going to be felt. Now, I wouldn't say that I don't feel latency right now, because I do. However, I should really try to count these frames and put it in my full review. Let's go ahead and do mission select and see what this is about. We'll just show a little gameplay demo here. Now, the amount of latency on top of this isn't terrible. Again, I will use a high-speed camera and try to record and just try to like do button press and count frames until not full to my depth. Count frames to find out how much latency is being a total input latency from button press to update on screen. Now, where am I to go? I don't need this weapon. Oh, it's painful. Oh, you can see that whole thing get updated.
The Hell Priest is somewhere in this facility. I cannot pinpoint his exact location at this time.
Alright, so that's Doom Eternal. Alrighty, so the last game that we're going to be showing, demoing here is Forza Horizon 4. Looking forward to Forza Horizon 5. Mostly I've just been having a fantastic time playing any xCloud game, which is just a tremendous amount of games. I mean, I could just like quickly run through this list. I don't know, it just seems like there's over 200. I should probably try to do a count of how many games there are. Once again, because I've been playing on my Xbox or on my PC and all the save games kind of get stored on Microsoft and is all seamlessly stored, it all just kind of works really, really transparently, and it's a very nice service.
Welcome back, Phawx.
So, now, the one thing that I do want to mention here is that even though this is a 360 controller, so when I press R2, I do drive like I normally would and should. However, it is digital only. So you're not going to be able to finesse the throttle as much as you would wish. So again, a bunch of fast-moving stuff on screen. There's a lot of things being updated. Now, there's a good amount that is basically static. So we have a bunch of static here. But you can see how much is being updated. Once we start going really fast, you can start to see the streaming service trying to catch up, which is pretty funny to see. Anything like with branches, a bunch of aliasing, that type of stuff is actually going to kill encoding that stream as best as it can, because there's just a lot of, it's like snow. Snow is like the worst thing to encode. So anything that has lots of edges, lots of contrasting edges, especially like right now we're in this winter scene, so wintry branches are pretty brutal on the encoding part of it. And yet, even though that's the case, it's still relatively fine. So one thing that I do want to kind of mention is that while this is pretty awesome to play on a handheld device, this game really does benefit from being on a larger screen. A lot of the fonts and stuff really are targeted towards a larger screen instead of being played on a small device or a small screen device like that this is. Not that it's unreadable, it's very readable, but it's not the best. And there are certain things I think that are going to become kind of more targeted, I would say, like being aware that they need to be able to run and function on a smaller screen. So you think of games like CRPGs that have tons of text, and on PC they anticipate people having fairly large monitors, so they'll put a lot of text with small font on there. And what winds up happening is that on smaller screens that becomes really hard to see. So I would imagine that as time goes on, because Pillars of Eternity 2 is an Xbox Game Pass game right now, and that is one game that doesn't really benefit from being on a smaller screen, just because of how tiny text can be. Anyway, this is Forza Horizon 4. I played Doom Eternal, I played Scourgebringer, I played Mighty Goose. You can play any game. I played Oblivion through Xbox 360 emulation. It's really, really awesome. There are a tremendous amount of games available through xCloud. It's a part of the Xbox Game Pass subscription. Again, I am not sponsored by Microsoft. They haven't paid me any money to say nice things about Game Pass. I've been saying nice things about Game Pass for a while now. I am in a good location with a good internet service provider that I have really low latency to Microsoft's servers. Not that you need a bunch of bandwidth, but you do need good enough latency to Microsoft servers where they're going to be their Azure network to be able to play games that things don't become really hairy with regards to latency. That is pretty much the only thing that I think you should be mindful of if you're thinking about picking up the GPD XP and using it for xCloud service. The GPD XP kind of excels in this area for streaming. So this is my look at xCloud. I'm going to probably take a look at a few other streaming services that we can do on the GPD XP. As always, guys, thank you for your time, and thanks for watching.